Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Glad you could be here this morning for a stream I'm really looking forward to. I'm calling it Retro Magazine Rewind. A lot of y'all know outside of Twitch world, I'm a professor who studies, among other things, pop culture and the politics of video games. And a lot of my research in recent years has involved digging through old magazines, looking at the advertisements, looking at the editorial features, kind of getting a vibe for what gaming culture was like in those moments in time. I mean, the great thing about popping open an old magazine is not only do you get a sense of like how the industry viewed itself, what kind of games is it releasing, how is it advertising them. You get a sense of how game journalists understood the industry at the time. What sorts of issues are they focusing on? What's getting their attention? What technological developments are really front and center in a lot of this coverage? And occasionally, if you're lucky enough to get letters from the readers, feedback sections, you also get a chance to gauge what the average gamer may be thinking about at any given time. So I love looking at these old magazines. They are journeys back through time, and I think that I have perfected a technology here. We're going to call it like PDF technology, maybe, that will allow me to easily share this with you. We're going to be looking at the September 1998 issue of PC Accelerator. Really, I think a fascinating magazine in this era at the turn of the millennium, and I couldn't be happier to share it with y'all. It's good to see everyone. Hey, Tom, there's Richard, Nathan, Chunky Code Monkey, Summer, Ben, Mike. There's Grayson, Matawi. The whole gang is here. And wow, you know, if you're new here, I'm Decaf Jedi. I'm Jess, BMX legend.
You know him as a BMX legend.
There it is. See, that's confirmation that I am indeed a BMX legend. If I have a voice clip that says it, who can argue with that? So now that everybody's here, if you'll take your seats, please, we can jump right into the action if it wants to work. All right, there we are. I'm the BMX legend. Thank you, Summer. Thank you for putting some respect on my name. All right, here we go. This is the September 1998 issue of PC Accelerator magazine. And I think I've got this set up where we'll be able to zoom in where we need to here and there. Sort of the pitch for PC Accelerator. This was a spinoff from PC Gamer. I think that its editorial staff, a lot of them were former PC Gamer staffers, if I'm not mistaken. But the whole idea behind PC Accelerator was, let's get an edgier, approach to covering the video game industry. Very much, even more so than most of the industry at the time, a more male-centric view of this. And particularly, they wanted to focus, as their tagline says here, on bigger, better, faster games, looking at this era of early 3D acceleration and getting a sense of what it's all about. Definitely Reservoir Dogs vibe here. This is great. I mean, the big cover story is Quake II Killers, and the ones they've chosen to highlight here in September 1998, Daikatana, Duke Nukem Forever, and Klingon Honor Guard. At least one of those, I think, completely forgotten. Klingon Honor Guard. The other two, definitely, games they're notorious more so than being known as particularly good. Let's see, I have the dates written down here in my handy dandy StairQuest notebook. Daikatana would eventually come out in May 2000, so it's only about 2 years away. Duke Nukem Forever wouldn't make it out until May 2011, and it still wasn't better than Quake II, which is hard to imagine. You can already see, the edginess is all over this thing. There at the top, you have this a new magazine for a new generation. Read this or die. 5 games they'll quick. I was like, kick Quake II's ass, and others they'll die trying. We're gonna have the 25 greatest guy games. We're gonna talk 3D cards. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. Warning: content not suitable for small children or old women. Complete love of fast games and uncontrollable urge to frag anyone who gets in your way is recommended. There it is. Yeah, that's true. Daikatana's development cycle nowadays doesn't look as wild as it did back then. I mean, it was an industry joke at the time. Nowadays, that's all right. Oh, there are going to be Voodoo 3D ads everywhere, Chunky Code Monkey. Don't you worry. Let's flip on over. And this is a great ad to start with. I mean, on the one hand, what is more 1998 than a Tomb Raider advertisement? At the time, 3DFX was doing a series of these advertisements where they would feature concept art on one page, and then on the facing page is where the game come to fruition with all the benefits of 3DFX technology. What I really like about this one, I think it speaks to an interesting bit of history. With this concept art here of Lara Croft, labeled as being from 1995. I'm pretty sure this would be from the era before she was known as Lara Croft in development. I think this would be back when she was still Laura Cruz, with a U in Lara and the last name Cruz. This is when I think in development she was still being envisioned as a mercenary from Central America rather than a posh British archaeologist. It wouldn't be until later in development that they switched over to the concept we all know of Lara Croft. It's interesting. It means that originally Lara Croft would have been not only an early instance of a prominent female protagonist, but also a woman of color that presumably would have been featured in games. At the same time, I've heard conflicting stories on this. Maybe others in the chat know more. But from what I understand, Lara's, like, part of the reasoning on making this change was fear that Americans may not be able to pronounce the name Cruz, and this would hurt the game's marketability, that CRUZ would be too confusing of a word for our small American brains, and that we would have to change this to something with maybe a harsher consonant sound so we could comprehend it. So yeah, no Cruz, and yeah, Mark, you're right. That'd be impossible. And yeah, 3DFX made her hot. Oh man. In all fairness, we are stupid, and this is a really good point. Oh, the problem was Lara. That's even more upsetting. All right, let's see what lies ahead. This is part of this broader 3DFX Eidos Interactive ad campaign. You can see classic Eidos character Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. If there's a company we associate him with, it is Eidos. We have a character from Revenant. We have Hiro Miyamoto, the protagonist from Daikatana. KL from Omicron, the Nomad Soul. Is that the David Bowie game? I think that is the David Bowie game. And then Garrett from Thief, the Dark Project. Not looking much like Garrett as I remember him. But there you have it. If you play the best games, use the best hardware, and use these broken typewriter fonts whenever you have the chance. There's nothing more 1998 than an old typewriter style font. You remember Revenant. But yeah, if it's not a scratchy font that looks like it would really hurt to touch, it's going to be one of these, my typewriter ribbon really needs to be changed desperately sorts of moments. So yeah, that ad follows through on the Lara Croft one from the page before. And then here, Requiem, Wrath of the Fallen. Every time someone dies in Quake II, their soul ends up here. So, yeah. We have a great game that very few people remember. I don't know that anyone out there is a giant Revenant fan. Richard, as you were saying earlier, does anyone remember Revenant? At the time, though, sort of your standard, I guess, fantasy sci-fi shooter type game. Nothing real exciting there. Most of my understanding, the majority of these games is entirely from CGW ads and reviews. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of games like this. I mean, this is at the height of the first-person shooter explosion. We've had Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake II. This issue is published right as that whole market is just exploding wildly. I mean, this is when Half-Life is coming down the pipes. This is when the Unreal Engine is just hitting the market. Again, this is when big titles like Quake Arena and Daikatana and Duke Nukem Forever are all in development. Is this game actually related to Quake 2? I don't believe so. I don't think any of the companies associated with this this game had anything to do. It's just Quake 2 was such a massive player in the industry at the time. It's like, if you can, hey, thank you, Elephant Dentist, welcome in. If you can even reference Quake 2 at the time, that's going to be good stuff for a game like this. By the way, I thought maybe I forgot to do this earlier. I thought maybe some light music in the background could add to the mood here. Let's see if we can get some lo-fi beats playing along with us. You don't want to just hear my loud, booming voice this whole time. All right, and then here we have another ad. We're starting out with lots of ads, this time from DreamWorks Interactive. We have Jurassic Park Trespasser. The laws of nature have been broken, and someone is going to pay. Ooh, what is my favorite first-person shooter? Oh, man. Of the classic era, like back around this time, it is definitely Quake 1. I was a huge Quake 1 addict. I was all over Quake 1. I deathmatched with my dorm mates constantly back in the day. Does Gabriel Nat 3 count as an FPS? Sadly not. But yeah, I was a Quake 1 kind of guy. Since then, the years that followed, there have been a lot of first-person shooters I enjoy. Probably the most recent one that I got like deep into would have been during my my extensive Overwatch phase back when I was really just playing a whole lot of that all the time. So yeah, Overwatch would be the last one that I spent much time with. Is this the Jurassic Park game that Angry Video Game Nerd did a video on? I'm not sure. I think this one is known particularly for having an engine that at the time was considered quite a bit advanced over what most first-person shooters were doing. And I do think the read on it was tons of ambition. Doesn't quite live up to all of it. There was another Jurassic Park game around this time that got canceled, right? Somewhere in this period, like a big one that was advertised and previewed and everything, and never actually made it to market. Oh wow, this is the time of the Lost World. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. You're alone, washed ashore on engine. What? How do you pronounce the company from Jurassic Park? Nobody knows. Remote Research Island, Site B. Yeah, I have very little knowledge or memory of this one either. Metallica. It's going to be a lot of the games we look at here. All right, so we have our table of contents here. We can get excited for 25 Greatest Guy games coming up. That's going to be a real, if you'll pardon my language, shit show when we get to it. Let's see what details we have here on the cover. Let's go to single page mode. Let's go to zoom in mode. And we'll just flip right over here. On the cover, of course, who would have conceptualized this Reservoir Dog-esque theme cover other than our demented editorial team? There you go. Yeah, that's good stuff. It came with a disc, like a lot of magazines at this time. It had the Worldcraft 1.6 demo. Don't know what Worldcraft was. Is that a level maker of some sort? 5 new Unreal levels, Quake skins, patches, 650 megabytes of goodness. Shyamouth boy, these don't care whose underwear they get in a bunch. They'll definitely just shake up anybody. Worldcraft was a Quake map editor. That makes sense. Tiberian Sun preview. Yeah, we've got it all here. Let's see. Let's go back to double page mode. And something else you'll notice up the side of, let's see, we'll go back in here. And on the side of these margins of every page, you have little asides and cute little jokes and things like that. There's a Boy George joke. I don't know exactly what that's all about, but you know, they're trying to be cutesy here. Yeah, this would eventually go pretty hard into Maxim territory. It's not quite there yet. It's definitely like this is the magazine for dude bros is very much the pitch. It wouldn't be until a few issues down the road, that it gets a little bit hornier. That's when you start seeing, photo spreads about booth babes and, more and more of that kind of, again, Maxim or Stuff style lad mag type content will be coming on. Kill Creek posing in a low cut shirt on the cover, that kind of thing is on its way on future issues. It's not quite here yet. Hey, question: have you driven an urban assault vehicle lately? Because the game, the Argus, Gunmetal. I thought the title was the Argus Overlord for a moment, but I guess maybe that's the name of the collection of polygons there that they are calling a tank. But yeah, this ad is not very exciting. You have a tank with a fusion beam, a flamethrower, all kinds of things like that. It's a good game when the screenshots are that prominent and exciting. That's right. We can zoom way in and really get a look at these great screenshots. You can tell. I mean, some of this is color correction, so I'm assuming these weren't quite as dark in the original. But that looks like a tank sim, all right. Historically, one of the more boring genres in all of video gaming. Hot take. They spent all that money on the double page ad. Didn't have any opportunities to actually, get the content in shape. Okay, here we go. This will be interesting. We have the magazine's sort of raison d'etre. We have their statement of purpose here. Let's see. Rather than trying to be all things to all people, we aim to be the ultimate resource for devoted gamers. In the process, we're going to have a load of fun. The two keys to a truly great magazine are to inform, that's in all caps, and to entertain. On both accounts, I'm sure you'll agree, PC Accelerator hits the mark. We're not only the creators of this magazine, we're the readers. Every man on this staff, and Carrie, loves playing PC games. Every man on this staff, and our woman, all enjoy playing PC games. We have editor-in-chief Max Salmon, maybe Salmon, hard to say. Quote, "See you guys later. I'm going off to have drinks with name of PR flack." That's the kind of thing Gamergate was upset about. We have the rest of the crew here, including Carrie, the aforementioned one woman on the staff. Ed/Lee here is listed as assimilated minority for his heritage. So there we have the team. Also, if you'll notice down here in the masthead, amidst all the kind of legalese and all that sort of stuff, this issue is dedicated to Starbucks. Love your chai tea latte. How do we get a franchise? Dear Dan's mom, thanks for visiting. Bring cookies next time. So we have fun little messages hidden everywhere in this magazine. What more could you want? Motocross Madness. Odds of landing this move, 10-1. It's pretty great. I just gotta say, these graphics are blowing me away. Anything with zing. You gotta love that zing. Rob Smith eventually went on to PC Gamer and Xbox Magazine. Mike Salmon, he edited, I think, one of the PlayStation magazines before this, and brought a very similar tone to it. You can really tell his editorial stamp on this. One of the big things that he emphasizes is it's one of those magazines where they really try to sell you on the idea of like, wow, working at this magazine must be awesome, cool, and look at all the wacky stuff our team does around the offices. kind of vibe to it later on. And yeah, you get that down the road. Yeah, I was definitely trying to get that UK vibe. All right. Gary Shepard now works for WEBZ Chicago. That's definitely trading up. I mean, as public radio affiliates go, WEBZ is as good as it gets. Oh no! Wow, there you have it. We've tracked down Gary Shepard. All right, let's see what lies ahead. Some details on what's located inside the disc. This Creative Labs advertisement is completely perplexing, and I kind of love it in that regard. Confidential. Upper management said we'd all get canned if we told you about our screaming new high-resolution 2D, 3D graphics card. But they didn't say we couldn't give you a hint. And then there's a link to the URL. I don't know why upper management wouldn't want the team at Creative to advertise their new graphics card, or why you wouldn't include some graphics in your ad that suggests what you can do with this new graphics card. But yeah, they're very much, we can't tell you about this awesome new graphics card because upper management will have our butts right in there on Monday morning asking, what were you doing? So here's this URL, and hey, how did that get there? Someone please check that URL and tell me if there's any kind of interesting information on hot graphics there. I kind of need some sort of narrative consistency in an advertisement like this. You can't just tell me upper management doesn't want you to know about this and then tell me anyway. And again, why does upper management not want to advertise their hot new project? Just leads to Sound Blaster still active, but as a redirect. There's probably some like Sound Blaster Creative Labs like webmaster who's been working there since 1995, who's still just like having to maintain this. I was like, oh god, I've got these ads. There's a page for the Sound Blaster 16. I've got to redirect it somewhere. Just like in a basement somewhere, working behind a desk. It's probably a rough life. All right, let's see here. All right, Quake II Killers, a gang of wannabe stars are taking aim at becoming Quake II Killers. The future of first-person shooters is upon us. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit here. Oh wait, other notorious killers here in the sidebar, in their wacky sideways joke area. Other notorious killers: Ted Bundy, Jack Kevorkian, O.J. Simpson. Ha ha! Timely. You gotta love a good OJ joke. But let's see here. So at this time, Quake 2 is very much the standard by which they're judging all of these challenger games, and this is a doozy of a lineup. It's interesting. So what they're doing is they've broken down their criteria for ranking these games based on pure action. Nothing got in the way of the killing in Quake 2. Nothing, they say. Originality, story, graphics, multiplayer, and buzz. Buzz. Nothing outstripped Quake 2 for buzz factor, aside from Quake 1, perhaps. Quake 2 is the most boring shooter of all time. I mean, this is objectively true. I said earlier how much I loved Quake 1. I had no interest whatsoever in Quake 2. That's right, Paul. Quake 2 is living rent-free in everyone's heads here. But ultimately on their, what is this? It's a 60-point scale. As awesome as it is, Quake only gets a 46 and Unreal gets a 44 on their 60-point scale. So even then, I guess Quake did poorly on originality, story, correct. Graphics, 8. Multiplayer. Buzz, though. It's got that 10 out of 10 buzz. See, I liked Quake 1 with the grappling hook mod. Let's see here. Let's go back out and go back to double screen. So we walk through here some of the big games that are on the horizon at the time. Here's Prey. It scores 50 out of 60. So they are very hyped about the action, originality, story, graphics, multiplayer, and buzz of Prey, a game they have yet to play, and think it's going to be better than it is, than these games, both Quake 2 and Unreal. The PCXL take. From what we've seen, Prey and the technology behind it are truly the next step in 3D gaming. So they're high on Prey. Oh, here's an obscure one. Let's take a look at this. All right, Half-Life. It gets a 47 on their scale. Prey does notably better than Half-Life. Half-Life did not make the cover. Yet again, it's important to note they were identifying Quake II Killers. They went with Daikatana, Duke Nukem Forever, and Klingon Honor Guard, while Half-Life is just hanging out right here. Let's see, where did it come down low? Not great on pure action. Originality's good. A shooter with a brain, that's genuinely original. Graphics, nah, not the best. Story, you're trapped by the government and the beasts of hell. Sounds like a story. So yeah, this one does pretty good. At the time, nobody really thought much of Half-Life. Yeah, no, it was a game that was definitely overlooked at the time. We have Sin, not again a terribly well remembered. It got some sequels, right? Like Sin episodes. No one wanted to put Sierra. That's right, Moral Recordings. Nobody wanted to put a Sierra game on the cover. This is Sierra Erasure, and I have good news. There is Sierra content lurking just around the corner. So get ready for that. We have some What Are They Saying down here. John Romero of Daikatana id Software fame. What is the best 3D engine and why? Unreal, because you can make your game bigger, prettier, and cheaper than any other engine at this time. Daikatana was still not made in Unreal, though, correct? So there you have it. Felt sorry for Sin. Did a lot of interesting stuff. It was utterly obliterated. Yeah. All right, let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, there's Daikatana. Let's definitely get a look at that one, because that one's big. I streamed Daikatana a few months back. Never having played it before, boy, it was rough. It gets a 47. You think the buzz would be like a 10 out of 10. Like, it's all buzz. Like, Daikatana was forever just buzz, right? There's nothing else but buzz to Daikatana. But nevertheless, it scores great in pure action. Again, a game they have not played. But they are willing to guess, based on the screenshots they've seen, that this game has great pure action, despite the RPG skew. Daikatana, noted as a true RPG game in every sense of the word. Yeah. Room time screenshot. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely back when the time traveling was more prominent. It's good looking frogs. And then here is the one screenshot that we all saw of Duke Nukem Forever for like 5 or 6 years straight. This prospector hanging out in Morningwood, Arizona. And this will be all we saw of Duke Nukem Forever for a long time. It gets a score of 51. They're real hyped on Duke Nukem Forever. Right on the Quake II engine, Duke Nukem Forever already looked like a winner. With the addition of the scripting and graphic capabilities of Unreal, we're drooling in anticipation. What's the worst that can happen when a game majorly switches engines halfway through development? Hey, Crispy Bit, I still can't believe Duke Nukem Forever actually came out someday as well. That's still strange to me. Sometimes I have to ask myself for sure if that even happened. But here we are, 10 out of 10 pure action. This is Duke. Action is all he knows how to get. 4 to 6 weeks delay. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's move forward, see what else is waiting for us. Urban Assault. Wait, did I miss half of that ad? No, it just starts with a question. So why am I dead? So why am I still dead? Okay. I have an enormous tank battalion. I have an arsenal of weapons. I've driven vehicles like a maniac. I've teleported into my satellite. I have the fierce air force. I know how to defend my host station. Urban Assault. Hey, hotshot, you're dead because you didn't think. It says down at the bottom. All right. And the rest. These are the other games that they think may be important players, including a little game called Max Payne. Why it's not going to be a Quake II killer? Everything we've seen on Max Payne is mighty impressive, but there still has to be a decent third-person multiplayer game. Could this be the first? In the following months, we'll find out. Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan's hugely popular fantasy novels get the gaming conversion. with the backing of the Unreal Engine. And here is some sort of glowing blob of who knows what. Did anyone play this Wheel of Time game? I have no memory of it whatsoever. It is all a mystery to me now. Really forgettable. Yeah, I mean, that's most of these shooters at the time. What they're saying, what is your all-time favorite first-person shooter weapon? John Romero, the rocket launcher, or double-barreled shotgun. That checks out. Wheel of Time with an evil coronavirus ghost. I mean, hey, maybe sometime, the coronavirus will be a ghost. That's what we can all hope for. And then we can simply bust it and be done with it. All right. Let's continue forward. So more of this urban assault ad. The sniper rifle is the worst in GoldenEye. This is why no one remembers Max Payne and Half-Life. Yeah, I mean, they're coming out, but nobody's real excited about them. Let's see here. We have Jurassic Park Trespasser, Amen, The Awakening. I'm guessing that's based on the sitcom Amen. If I had to just take a wild guess there, who knows? Prax War. Ooh, Prax War sounds exciting. Shogo Mobile Armor Division by Monolith. That was a game that's considered at some level maybe an underappreciated gem from this era, correct? Didn't people end up liking Shogo a fair bit? I mean, Monolith certainly has the track record of pulling off some good stuff. Shogo's awful. Okay, I'm wrong. I never played it. I thought it was something decent. Shogo's awful. I trust you, Richard. Heretic 2, that's good stuff. Thumbs down from Richard. Yeah, I mean, that's not a promising sign. And then XCOM Alliance. This one, I don't know how many of you have played XCOM Alliance, but boy, it is a bad addition to the XCOM franchise. Take the classic turn-based strategy and put it in an Unreal-based first-person style. Strategy still plays a part in moving your team members, and technology-building elements of the franchise should add a twist to this genre. It is awful. It's Enforcer I'm thinking of. Thank you, Richard. Okay, XCOM Alliance got panned. I played the later first-person shooter Enforcer. I'm sorry, the later one that was just awful. I think I played it to get a screenshot of a soda machine, if you can imagine such a thing. Thinking about Jurassic Park, a crossover I'd love to see if the next Jurassic Park movie has Chris Pratt fighting Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I'm in for it. Yes, I think there is. Yeah, the Bureau is the more recent attempt at a XCOM, third-person shooter in that case. All right. Let's move forward and see what else is waiting for us. Requiem. There's Klingon Honor Guard. Again, it made the cover. I think it's interesting. One of the reasons they say why it's not the big Quake II killer that they might have imagined is the fact that the limits of the Star Trek license and the problems with Unreal multiplayer code could be a problem. I do have to say, I kind of love the idea and wish Gene Roddenberry had been around long enough to see his Star Trek franchise turned into a first-person shooter multiple times. He was so angry about the bit where they zapped the little mind slug that went into Chekhov's head in Star Trek 2 when they phasered it. Because, that's not what Starfleet would do, killing this life form. And instead, we turned into a first-person shooter. Gene would be happier if it made you a lot hornier. Possibly, yes. Yeah, this global domination ad is interesting. Bad day. Take it out on Canada. No hard feelings, eh? There's another ad for this game that comes out around the same time that features a blonde woman with pigtails holding a meatball on a fork. And let's see, I jotted down the text here. Stood up by a blonde, carpet bombs Sweden. So, it's it's definitely tapping into some real incel energy there. Stood up by a blonde, carpet bomb Sweden. This is just the much more politically acceptable notion of, I guess, launching ICBMs at Canada. So there you have it. I know. Actually, Chunky Code Monkey, you can't miss a second of Retro Magazine Rewind because you never know what we're going to get into.
More talk, less gameplay. It's Decaf Jedi. Decaf Jedi.
All right, here we have Star Siege. Now we're in the Dynamics family of products. We're in a game that the stream is hot. It's a hot stream. Requiem was the first game with bullet time. Not Tribes. This is just Star Siege. I guess it's Tribes that would go on to be the massively influential. I mean, isn't that kind of how we ended up with, okay, now my mind's blanked. What is the series that led to the popular hero-based shooter? Is it Apex Legends that is based on something that came before? Why is my brain not working? Doesn't matter. Titanfall. There you go. Is it Apex Legends that basically supplanted Titanfall in every way? Am I correct there? In 2829, humanity is spread through the solar system. When civil war breaks out, it burns across worlds. Now, you say that, Grayson, but I will say Apex Legends shares some of the exact same soda machine models as Titanfall. So how do you explain that? All right, here we have an ATI video card advertisement. How fast do you want to go today? With wacky fonts and all this other sort of good stuff. Nothing too exciting there. Oh, wait, here we go. Get 8 megabytes of power, the best 3D, DVD quality video, and TV out, starting for just $98. Ask your favorite retailer for more details. Okay, now things are going to get interesting. We're going to see some of the real editorial voice of this magazine. Let's take a closer look. We're going to move into the 25 greatest guy games. It takes a special game to classify as a real guy game. It must possess a pronounced glory all its own to be considered one of the 25 best. The formula is far from an exact science, but extreme violence, gratuitous sex, beer, or sports are critical. Of course, any game that can successfully combine all these elements into one is an instant classic. Send your kid brother to get some smokes, lower the lights, get drunk on testosterone, and prepare to review the 25 games in order of guyness that make you proud to be a man. Special note to our mothers, we aren't sexist pigs who promote violent computer games. We just play them in this magazine. Thank you. So this is going to be good already. Starting out with Duke Nukem, the series. Manly ingredients, drinking, sex, violence, and expletive-loaded one-liners. Something that definitely the entire Duke Nukem series is known for, and not just Duke Nukem 3D. Defining moment after mowing down alien scum, Duke heads into a strip club as many self-respecting manly man would, pulls out $1, and the stripper gets naked. Enough said. Well, we would have scored it a 10 out of 10. Duke Nukem, I guess, is the greatest guy game of all time. I've never felt more secure in being not bad. And that's the correct answer. Shy mouth boy. Naked and Enough Said are very 1998 kind of jokes. On the one hand, and both absolutely do at least 1d8 of psychic damage every time I hear them. Paul, yes, enjoy your cigar as a manly man. Doesn't get more manly than Duke Nukem. Quake 1 and 2. So they get lumped together. Real life equivalent, Vietnam. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. Quake is the ultimate bully. The pure satisfaction of driving a rail slug through a row of unsuspecting crouchers can't be touched. Take that, crouchers! Carmageddon. Tomb Raider 1 and 2. 2 words, two things. Hell, you know what we mean. Defining moments, perverted camera manipulation to get the best angle, and pushing blocks just to hear erotic grunts. And then, the laws of physics prohibit a real-life Lara, but Elizabeth Hurley is close enough. The return of Daisy Dukes. Interstate 76. Muscle cars, afros, Dan assures us this is manly, plenty of gore, and occasional cuss word. Interstate 76, the classic driving game from this era. Doom introduces deathmatch. Deathmatch, very much a manly thing. Oh, here we go. Feminist hero or mistress of exploitation. We don't care what you call her as long as she keeps getting out her guns, they say of Lara Croft. Okay. Wolfenstein 3D, slaughtering Nazis. What else do you need? Myth. Jedi Knight. It's Star Wars and you get to be the bad guy. Defining moment. Choosing between the dark and light side of the Force. You choose the light side. You might prefer our list of games for girly men. Only girly men choose the light side of the Force. NHL 98. Defining moment. Knocking a pretty boy center through the glass into the lap of his actress wife. Leisure Suit Larry series. Here we go. Some CR content. Manly ingredients. Sex nudity, ad infinitum. Defining moments. The desperate, almost painful ongoing pursuit of any and all women in the game, and instantly asking your mother to answer the adult test questions. Real life equivalent, junior high. Oh hell, who are we kidding? Our whole damn lives. And then bottom line, bad interface and even worse dialogue. This is all 7 games, I guess. Still getting laid, even a game is always cool. Tapper. It's got beer, it's got bartenders, and lovely pixelated barmaids. But they would have scored it a 1. So it would have gotten a 1 out of 10. Not a great grade, but that's good enough to land it at number 12 in the greatest guy games of all times. And also, Tapper is incredible. I got to play it on one of the original arcade cabinets a couple of years ago, and Tapper's good stuff. They give it a 1 because I guess it's not 3D and nobody dies in Tapper, except maybe from cirrhosis. Full Throttle. Full Throttle makes the list. What's manly about it? Motorcycles, mechanics, big heavy metal music, big explosions, and sweaty, overweight heroes. One of the only manly graphic adventure games ever made, with the voice of Mark Hamill, nearly cost this a place in the top 25. Mark Hamill's mere presence in the voice cast nearly knocked Full Throttle out of contention. Even by 1998, we had all decided we loved Mark Hamill's voice acting. This is the opening salvo in The Last Jedi Nerd Wars. Syndicate, StarCraft. What makes StarCraft manly? Alien hordes, big-ass spaceships, 3 warring races. Nothing more manly than I guess, racial conflict? I don't know. Let's see here. Let's take it forward. We think Denise Richards is a babe, so here's a picture. Guys, enjoy this picture of Denise Richards. G-Police. Does anyone remember a game called G-Police? One of the only manly graphic adventures. Yeah, just right down the road from Leisure Suit Larry. Yeah, we're so edgy. Here's a press shot. G-Police. It's got souped up helicopters, legalized police brutality, very manly, and the freedom to blow up pesky civilian vehicles. Yeah, that all sounds wonderful. Yes, yeah, you're skipping ahead. Grand Theft Auto, Command & Conquer series, Deer Hunter, high caliber weapons, flannel, and shooting cuddly and poor defenseless animals. Manly. Yeah, 22, they include Custer's Revenge. Even as manly men, we have to draw a line somewhere, and this game is just offensive. So offensive, we can only put it at 22. This is, of course, a horrible game for the Atari 2600, an unlicensed title. They just wanted to talk about it. They're going to give it a -3 and say how it's too offensive to be included, but they just want to talk about the real-life equivalent is the White House intern program. Take that, Clinton. But if you've downloaded an Atari 2600 emulator, there really isn't much else to play anyway. At the end, they actually say it. Actually, this game sucks, but isn't it cool that we remember it? Which, at some level, I guess is the entire message of a countdown like this and a magazine like this. Actually, this game sucks, but isn't it cool that we, the very cool people who wrote this magazine, remember? Yeah, 25 games you remember. Hey, Katana still. It's above Diablo. That's right. Outlaws, the forgotten Old West LucasArts shooter. Dungeon Keeper, hearing the satisfied squeals of Dark Mistress as you lock them up and proceed to perform obscene acts of torture. Diablo. Now, here are games for girly men, which itself is kind of a problematic term, I guess. Creatures, nurturing cute, furry, doe-eyed creatures is supposed to be fun. Give me a railgun. I'll do some damn nurturing. Ultima Online, not a manly game. Because if you're playing it, you're a huge geek who needs the company of virtual friends to enrich your sad existence. Final analysis, swords good, conversation bad. Theme Hospital, healing. It's not bad enough that you have to be bored with financial details, but the end result is healing. That goes against everything we stand for. Rihanna Rouge, Mist. Okay, here we go. This is their review of Mist. Somebody castrate me. That is one of Jim Carrey's lesser known catchphrases. Somebody castrate me. please clip that. Then maybe I'll play this Warfest they like to call a game. Anyone who bought this game or its equally unlikable sequel, Riven, needs a handful of Viagra, Pamela Anderson posters, some lotion, and time alone to think. So there you have it. This is the peak of Mist hating. It absolutely was. So yeah, that is the 25 greatest guy games. Do you feel more in touch with the entire concept of masculinity now? I hope so. What we have ahead? Ooh, an ad for Unreal. Unreal is real, and some nice in-game shots of the Unreal Engine. PC Gamer calls it the future of gaming, and boy, were they right. I mean, I don't know how many games have used the Unreal Engine since then, but absolutely yes, Unreal was the future of gaming, quite literally. Hey, Glory Dragon. Yeah, Scrabble, also listed here as an unmanly game for some reason. I reject their masculinity and substitute my own. That's exactly how you need to do it, TL Wolf. Oh, wow. You know, Ben, you make a really good point there. The exact people who get upset about pronouns in a Twitter bio are the same people that need to really reaffirm gender through an article like the 25 greatest guy games. That's absolutely on my. Hey, Eric, good to see you. All right. Oh, this is good. Check it out, y'all. It is your old friends at Columbia House. You may have bought CDs from them at some point and remained forever in their thrall. Now they're selling you CD-ROM games. Let's see what the deal looks like. Okay. So you're going to choose any two CD-ROMs for $4.95 each. And then all you have to do is buy 4 more CD-ROMs in the next 2 years at their regular prices. So you can get a hold of Red Baron 2. You can get your hands on the Warcraft Battle Chest. You could get, let's see, what else is good in here? Phantasmagoria, Phantasmagoria 2. Those are the top 2 Phantasmagoria games. Freddy Fish 3, The Case of the Stolen Conch Shell. You could get the Police Quest Collection. Oh, man. Yeah, this is like the 2 CDs, 10 for the price of 2. Yeah, it's Columbia House. They're doing their old thing. If you lived here in the U.S. During this period, you may very well know the kind of game that Columbia House was playing. Soda Off-Road Racer. I'd play that, absolutely. All strategy games, casual games, and adventure games. Yeah, which is interesting considering what this magazine is covering. Let's see, souping up your rig. Here we have tech coverage. We have a review of the 3DFX Voodoo 2. They talk a little bit about, I guess, SLI configurations where you jam 2 Voodoo 2s into a single system. Expensive. Oh, man. Listen to how expensive graphic cards used to be. Imagine paying this for a top-of-the-line, best quality graphics card you can get your hand on. The 3DFX Voodoo 2 is going to cost you around $230. Can you imagine? Oh, Dragon, I read, rather. I played these magazines constantly. It was a horrible game. I read a ton of video game magazines at the time. I actually had this issue, I should probably mention. I believe because I was a PC Gamer subscriber at the time, they sent me this issue free of charge as like a sample of what you could enjoy from PC Accelerator. Yeah, what is that in $22? That's probably not far off, honestly, from a decent video card nowadays. Oh, this is good. Jargonator. Here we go. All of these sorts of great terms that you're used to seeing. What is the difference between 2D and 3D acceleration? Anisotropic. I've never really thought about how to pronounce that. Anisotropic filtering. You see that in the settings page of everything. Okay, so that's $515. That number is not so far out of whack. Anisotropic. Okay, or isotropic. Anisotropic. It's like Tropico. Bump mapping. A process by which a surface appears to take on a more 3D aspect. For example, looking bumpy. Hence bump mapping. Errant Bjork smuggling is a little-known 3D accelerator term. Occasionally, Icelandic pixies pop up in true 3D environments. The best bet is to smuggle them into a 2D program like Mavis Beacon teaches typing. Quantum squirrel buffering. Purely hardware rendering technique that buffers most manufacturers' chipmunk textures in full 4D. Yeah, I know that. I was expecting the Lara Croft joke on the bump mapping thing. So yeah, I mean, they deserve some credit. 8 of them, 1 of you. Finally, a fair fight. Because you have all of these cool diamond sound cards and video cards to even out the score. Errant Bjork smuggling is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Matawi, a lot of their jokes haven't landed this issue, but the phrase Errant Bjork smuggling isn't too bad. I'm going to give them the Decaf Jedi seal of approval on that one. By the way, if you're just joining us, you're wondering what the heck is going on. This isn't a video game. Here on Twitch, the website for video games, we're looking at the September 1998 issue of PC Accelerator magazine, just seeing what was going on in September of 1998 in the world of gaming. So many ads of men yelling at me. Lots of yelling. There's a lot of yelling in this period. More Jargonator. Oh, here we go. Now they're making the jokes. We have rosterization and Rastafarization. Oops. We have PCXL's picks. What sorts of graphics cards should you get? And then we have this boring ad for a sound card. Check out this page. Crumple into ball. Toss over your shoulder. The sound this ad will make when it hits the ground behind you is the sound of A3D from Ariel. The only audio that works the way your ears do. Get you an audio card that works the way your ears do. Bring back cheesy Lightwave 3D models on graphic card boxes. Yes. And we have some more Sound Blaster advertising. We have a guy here who appears to be conducting a storm with seagulls and a tsunami and a volcano and all kinds of other dangerous things. Why do I need 3D sound while I only have 2 ears? This is a very good question. That's why some of Creative's ads from this time featured someone with a 3rd ear in the back to really drive it home. Ooh, a Sideways ad. Want to live through Half-Life? Play it on a Mach 5. Frame rate is life. Now that's a pretty good slogan. Frame rate is life. All right, now we're making it to the previews section. We have a preview here for Half-Life. 30% Quake plus 70% Valve equals 100% compelling. Yeah, I mean, you need a flight stick for Half-Life. Falcon Northwest is still with us today. We're going to see some Alienware soon. Tried to play an FPS once with a flight stick. Yeah, it's not great. Preview starts out extremely skeptical. Half-Life is another in a long line of the first-person shooter brigade to miss its initial planned ship date. How did this happen? I mean, Half-Life uses the Quake I engine, which has been available for some time now. How long does it take to get it right? Well, this is where the 30% comes out in. Valve's boss on the project, someone named Gabe Newell, has been quick to make it clear that 70% of the game is Valve original. Oh, here we have a gallery of Half-Life shots. It's looking good. This in no way, I think, does a good job of selling how nice Half-Life actually looks in action. How do you miss your release dates? Also, Duke Nukem Forever is the game we're looking forward to more than anything coming out in the upcoming years. Oh, here we go. Let's see. 5 questions with Gabe Newell. What's the coolest AI effect in Half-Life? I'd have to go with the conversation capability for NPCs because it was something that utilizes just about every feature. Skeletal animation, DSP technology, scripted sequences, streaming audio in the engine. Oh, this is a good answer. Unreal versus Quake 2. Your call. Ultima Underworld. Look at Gabe. Look at Gabe coming in, representing for Ultima Underworld. Oh, this is great 1998 content. Do you believe that Bill Gates is the Antichrist? Do you remember how much we hated Bill Gates back in 1998? And then we decided Bill Gates was okay. And then recently we decided maybe again Bill Gates is bad in ways we didn't expect. Well, here, Gabe says, I was at Microsoft for 13 years, and blood oath sworn at midnight prevent me from naysaying my dark master. Gabe plays girly games, confirmed, absolutely. Who in the industry do you respect most? Warren Spector, Sid Meier, and Shigeru Miyamoto. That's not a bad list of people to go with here. All right, let's see what lies ahead. Nova World. This isn't a dating service. This is where you score. The first and only large-scale gaming service that delivers fast, furious, smooth gameplay. Free large-scale multiplayer gameplay. I have no memory whatsoever of Nova World as one of these gaming services. I guess it's a matchmaking service, kind of like GameSpy or something like that. Who knows? Oh, Descent Free Space. Great wars require greater battlefields. Descent Free Space was good stuff. It takes Descent out of underground tunnels and out into space. I think I got this as a free pack-in with my first 3D card, and oh man, did I play the heck out of it. At the time, I remember thinking, it's like, oh man, if only Wing Commander had this really sweet engine going, but kept its storytelling, which Descent Free Space didn't really bother with too much. But yeah, this looks great. It was a great game. It was tons of fun. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I think these games were not as big of a hit as Descent, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know that for sure. I could be wrong. Tomb Raider 3 is more of the same enough. So here we have a review of Tomb Raider 3. At this point, the industry settled into a little bit of, well, what else can Tomb Raider do? After Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2 were such massive successes, the industry decided this series is just doing the same thing over and over again, which arguably it was. I mean, that's a fair comment. In fact, when they would later review Tomb Raider 4, like a year after this, they would actually rerun this exact 2-page spread in PC Accelerator and simply like draw a little editing line through every time they mentioned Tomb Raider 3 and just scribble in Tomb Raider 4, arguing that their review they wrote a year earlier still applies otherwise exactly to the next game in the series. Cartoon wolf with bulging eyes. Yeah, I guess we do need to see how far they can go before they make a joke about breasts. Let's see. Here we go. She's undoubtedly the biggest star in the game industry and has helped expand the market with her unreal body and adventurous gameplay. There it is. Let's see. In 1997, 122,484 U.S. women got boob jobs. 49 used experimental fillers such as ... Oh, wait, the Busty Adventure. I missed Busty Adventure. Okay. Yeah, so Busty Adventure, we all know is Lara Croft. It's there right from the beginning. And then here in the sidebar, in this little up and down section on the margin, we're talking boob jobs. Oh, wait, here we go. This is important. The question we're all dying to know. How is Lara in the sack? Yes, we know she isn't real, but indulge us. You mean a gunny sack race? Like at a family picnic? She'd probably do very well being the athlete that she is. There you go. Thank you, Tomb Raider 3 producer Troy Horton, all the way from Derby, England, just laying it out there. Seriously, they claim that environments aren't up to Heretic 2's grimy worlds. Yeah, I mean, Heretic 2 is not a pretty game, right? Journalism. That's journalism. That's going straight to the source. Let's see here. Lara, she's so cute when she's mad, they say. And then let's see. Over here, we have who should play Lara Croft if there's a Tomb Raider movie. Elizabeth Hurley, Demi Moore, Vanessa DeMoy. I don't know Vanessa DeMoy. Lucy Lawless or Sandra Bullock were the choices. Gravity finally caught up with Lara. Ooh. Yeah, so those were the choices. Of course, it would eventually be Angelina Jolie. Why'd my name blank on Angelina Jolie? Wow. There you go. Yeah, Joe. It's not like she's an obscure actress or anything. Gaming journalism just isn't respectable anymore. That's right. Let's see. Well, we have moving forward. Draken. This is a game. Their tagline here is "Look out, Lara! There's a new girl in town." This would be one of many games at the time that definitely tried to hone in on the popularity of Tomb Raider and said, "What if we were a third-person action platformer with a female protagonist? Would you also buy us, please?" So this is, this is what we have here. We have the lead of Draken, Ren, I believe was the name. Yep, Ren. And there you see in this caption, if you have to look at someone's backside for an entire game, then I suppose you could do worse than this. I mean, yeah, look at that. That's pretty stunning. But yeah, this is basically Tomb Raider with dragons. Popularity of attractive dragons. That's a fine looking dragon. There's no question. So yeah, you can see a little bit more of what this game's all about. Dragons are always in style. This is true, Galar. Absolutely. The first fully functional dragon simulator. Yeah, there was Westwood made like a D&D licensed one, right? Like a dragon flight sim. I think, at least. New content instead of recycled Tomb Raider. There you go. It's time you saw the future. Command and Conquer. Tiberian Sun. Yeah, I never got that far into Command and Conquer. I liked the RTS genre, but I was way more in the Worldcraft and Total Annihilation side of that, and really missed out on Command and Conquer, which is too bad, because I think especially by the time you get to, was it Red Steel and some of those, the Cold War themed storyline would have been a lot of fun. I hate that I missed out on that. Oh, it was Red Alert. Did I say Red Steel? Red Alert. There you go. Space! Oh, here we go. Slave Zero. Another game I have no memory of whatsoever. How does PCXL choose to engage with a game titled Slave Zero? Let's see. Here in the margin, they have a quote from Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House here in the United States, leader of the Republican Revolution in the early 1990s. It's only emotional symbolism. Newt Gingrich on an apology for slavery. So we're quoting Newt Gingrich saying that there's no need for the United States to apologize for slavery. Definitely relevant to our coverage of this video game. And then, yeah, Red Steel was the Katana game for Wii. You're right. Thank you, Grayson. Then let's see here. They talked to Slave One's producer, Matt Powers, with some questions. Who would you like to be your slave? Either Dana Scully or Seven of Nine from Star Trek. Or both. Who do you admire? Oh, sorry. Do you think the U.S. should apologize for slavery? Please, producer of Slave Zero, could you tell us, should the United States apologize for slavery? He says yes. He gives the correct answer here. Who do you admire most? John Carmack. Oh, wait. There's a horrible Chris Farley. Size doesn't matter. The key to energetic... Oh, wow. That's awful. That is, please keep your politics out of Slave Zero. I mean, yeah, this, literally, they're like, what? How can we riff on the concept of slavery? Let's see. You may buy slaves, and they may be your property. Leviticus 25. Okay. So they have now quoted the Bible, the Old Testament, here in the side margin, up and down there on the side. Quoting Leviticus, justifying the ownership of slaves. I need to hydrate. I actually need to hydrate with something stronger than water at this point. This is for everyone. Yeah, this is just idiot edgy shit for idiots. And so what's happening there. I mean, this is I don't know. I mean, it's just trying to be provocative. And it's people trying to be provocative that also just aren't very good at comedy. I think, yeah, they're really going for that we don't care who we offend vibe. Jokes are, yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, on the one hand, the previous page has Newt Gingrich, quoted as, saying there's no need for a apology for slavery, which it's hard to tell if they're presenting that to make us agree with Newt Gingrich or point out what an incredibly out of touch perspective that would be. But then when you flip to the following page and they have a quote from the Old Testament endorsing the ownership of slaves, yeah, they're trying way too hard. Yeah, they aren't really crazy. Now that can't be true. I mean, as disappointing as this is, gamers have done far worse than this. But it's pretty bad. It's not good. Nomad's an Island. Here's an ad for Star Siege Tribes. Just a few pages back, we had Star Siege. Now we're jumping into Tribes. A game still beloved today, right? Like people still look back fondly on this one. It ends up being a big inspiration for games like Overwatch and other hero shooters, right? Like it sort of creates a lineage that would eventually trickle down to Team Fortress and Overwatch and elsewhere. Requiem. Here we have again a pretty forgettable first-person shooter from this era. Since it involves the afterlife, they have a little sidebar over here talking about Charlie's Angels, because talking about pop culture is always cool. As we contemplate playing the angel Malachi in Requiem, we begin to reminisce about some other angels, Farrah Fawcett, and then it just breaks down all the different Charlie's Angels and notes whether or not they posed in Playboy at some point. So yeah, that's where it's at. Oh man, Mattel, you just earned the Golden Star. Congratulations. Thank you so much for all your dedicated listening. If anyone's new here and you're enjoying the stream, normally I stream retro games. Tonight I'll be streaming Monkey Island 2, for instance. But if you're enjoying the stream, consider dropping a follow. We'd be happy to have you. It's not always being completely in the thick of this very serious gamer action, but that's definitely where we are today.
Glass bottom boat.
Well, where'd that come from? Let's see. So there's Requiem. Here we go. I mentioned earlier the trend at the time was make a third-person action game and put a female protagonist in it, and maybe you can sell like Tomb Raider sold. And here we have Space Bunnies Must Die. Like many women, Allison is looking for an effective hair removal system. Only it's HARE because it's a game about space bunnies. And yeah, this is definitely some 90s art. This looks straight out of the pages of a independent superhero comic from the era. Early 90s gaming seemed brighter, more optimistic, hopeful, cheerier. Yeah, I think that you really see a shift in coverage in the magazines and the games themselves. I mean, this is a little bit of a bleak period. Remember at E3 they gave out rabbit's feet to promote this game, and someone discovered their actual rabbit legs. They're like, "Oh no, this is gross." Hey, Katana Steel, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. An army of sinister mutants from beyond! 3 exclamation points. The shocking story of a kidnapped country starlet with a twang and a twin. And the sassy rodeo riding waitress is serving up a serious side order of slaughter. Alright, that's Space Bunnies Must Die. Command and Conquer, Tiberian Sun. Now we're into the previews still here. They are pretty excited about this one. Here's Jurassic Park Trespasser. We're kind of getting a lot of repeat from earlier in the magazine. They've already profiled a lot of these upcoming shooters as part of that, 20, or what was it, 15 games, 25 games, whatever, that will kill Quake II. Yeah, here we are now covering Jurassic Park Trespasser once again. Daikatana. They say it's almost ready, but is it worth the wait? Okay, this is interesting. Let's see here what we can do with Daikatana. Again, famously delayed Daikatana. Let's see. So, PCXL attempts to get in the head of Ion Storm's long-haired head honcho, John Romero. John Romero, who today is a lovely person, a great follow on Twitter, takes a lot of time out for fans. This is at the height of his rock star phase, where a lot of people were wondering if his success on Wolfenstein and Doom and Quake was like a flash in the pan. Whether he's going to be able to, really follow up on that. Hey, Chris Lachey, good to see you. Yeah, we're going to get to minority sidekicks because that's not great. Describe Id's John Carmack in 3 words: intense, genius, creative. What costs more, Daikatana or the Ion Storm offices? Daikatana. Well, maybe the offices. I'm not sure. Price tag on the offices, $17 million. If you've never read up on Ion Storm's office in Dallas, it is pretty amazing stuff. The book Masters of Doom does a really great job of talking about how wild Ion Storm's startup was at the time. But yeah. Do you consider the word underpants funny? I've always wanted to know if John Romero considered the word underpants funny. Says it sounds like something the British would say. I think tidy whities is funny. And then we have a rundown of minority sidekicks, including Superfly, Tonto, Kato from the Green Hornet, and Chewbacca. Ethnicity, Wookiee, misspelled. Significance of name, it means stupid in Wookiee. Okay, we made that up. Portrayed as big, hairy, ill-tempered, and loyal. Attempts at political correctness, seen bonding with Ewoks. That's right. Everyone knows that gotta be aware of political correctness, right? This is the 90s. That's a dangerous thing. And Chewbacca, it was an attempt at image rehabilitation when they had him bonding with Ewoks. They're angry gamers and angry nerds who at the time are still mad about Return of the Jedi. Problem is, everyone else says pants. Yeah. As someone that once worked at a hip office, it doesn't help. Yeah, I mean, Ion Storm was like the ultimate hip office. Like, I think that, you just drove your Lamborghini straight into the elevator and, rode up to the top and then just floated in a swimming pool all day while you worked on your game. There you have it. Ben once worked at Ion Storm. Tell us more. Here we have an ad for Earthlink with their phone number 1-888-QUIT-AOL. That's pretty good. A breakdown on how they do their reviews. They include, as part of their purpose for existing, their ratings on various chipsets to see how well these games perform on, Voodoo cards versus others. So they're going to focus in on this acceleration angle since it is there in their name. Unreal gets a Killer Game Award. It does really well on the Voodoo 2, it says over here on the left-hand side. And less good on the Voodoo 1. Iraq's Scud missiles were also very disappointing weapons for the Iraqis. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but congratulations on dunking on Iraq here. So we have their review of Unreal, which is going to stretch out over several pages. It gets a 9. Ultimately, it gets a 9 here. Let's take a closer look at this review. Yes, I know there's a photo of Hitler up there. We'll get back to that. Graphics, best so far, and likely the best until more Unreal-based games appear. Unreal's spooky and absorbing soundtrack does the job perfectly. Depth, it's a first-person shooter. What do you expect? Again, Half-Life hadn't come out yet. Repetitive concepts don't dilute the varied textures and environments. It gets a 9 out of 10 rating here. And then up here, they have some sort of sidebar of Real versus Unreal. Unreal, Demi Moore. Real, Rosie O'Donnell. Winner, Demi Moore. We can wholeheartedly say that Silicon is good. Isn't that Silicone? Star Wars versus World War II. Tie. Killing stormtroopers is always good. There you have it. Smuggler Han Solo. history's greatest monster, Adolf Hitler, tie. Alien autopsy versus illegal aliens. Winner illegal. Oh my god. Okay, alien autopsy versus illegal aliens. Winner illegal aliens. Cheap labor means lower prices, and who doesn't want that? So I guess that's them staking a position on the immigration debate. Oh god, I'm so exhausted. I didn't think this would be this bad. Oh god. Oh. These people don't care who they've been. That's right. Oh no. Oh yeah, I need to hear what they think about unions.
Glass bottom boat.
Please, Kate Capsize, sail me away from here. And Dirk Diggler and Ron Jeremy. Both of these guys get more action than we'll see in our lives. Whew. Wow, okay, I've got to catch my breath. Oh. Okay, that's the review of Unreal. Here we go, y'all. This is good stuff. Adventure gaming is not dead. It's just entered another dimension. The best-selling adventure series ever is back. Roberta Williams brings you the 3D magic of King's Quest, Mask of Eternity. Explore the world of Daventries that's never been seen, and if you're lucky, return to tell about it. 7 worlds, 3 dimensions, 1 indescribable adventure, coming this fall from Sierra Studios. What indescribable adventure? Sounds about right. Yeah, that ass see more of it with the cheat codes. You know, Grayson, I think about the same thing. I read a lot of magazines. I had a lot of issues of PC Accelerator at the time, and it makes me wonder how I escaped from that at any level. But yeah. Yeah, here we go. It's King's Quest, Mask of Eternity. It's a pretty good looking ad, honestly, for a game that's not super great. I mean, when I say not super great, I mean awful. This ad actually makes it look kind of exciting. I like that they played on the meme at the time where, you know, magazines left and right were declaring adventure gaming dead, that this was a genre that was never coming back. I like that they, you know, adventure gaming is not dead, it's just entered another dimension. That's a fun slogan. Played it very thoroughly just a few months ago. Galar, can you say it was the greatest thing you've ever played? Yeah, this was. I was excited to see this when I was flipping through this earlier. Who doesn't? Adventure gaming, Born Again, which I'm assuming must mean this is actually a Christian allegory, but I don't know that. I've never played Mask of Eternity. But King's Quest 8 is the best part of the magazine. That's bad. Hey, Living Ron's, good to see you. The Dimension of Death is also an area in King's Quest 8. Hey, I'm a little T-Pat. Welcome in. Welcome, everybody, by the way. I'm glad to see a turnout on this. I was afraid I might be talking to nobody for this whole stream. I wasn't sure if looking at an old magazine would be fun to anybody, but I know looking at old magazines is super fun to me. So I'm glad that y'all could come hang out with me. Let's move on forward. Here we have some forgettable games. Who here is a big fan of Incoming? It's basically, they describe here as a Jerry Bruckheimer film if it were made into a movie. Okay, I'm guessing that's a little bit of a typo. Oh, good, Katana. I'm glad you're slacking off at work. I definitely encourage this. It's like opening a time capsule. That's how I kind of think about it. Oh, that's true, Kurslasha. You did miss their ringing endorsement of Custer's Revenge. Lens flares everywhere. Yeah, but clearly Incoming would be a Jerry Bruckheimer film if it were made into a movie. I'm guessing they mean made into a game. And yeah, all they basically say is it has explosions, lots of them, which is good enough for a 7. A pitch for a Dangerous Minds movie. That's not going to be good. We'll just zoom back out of that. Flesh Feast. Exceedingly bloody, surprisingly tasty. Gets a 6. Descent Free Space The Great War. We get a strong 8 there. The detail isn't there or the frame rate, but the software version still plays pretty well. Again, they're putting this focus on the idea of, you know, 3D acceleration being the hot new technology and really driving home, if you want to experience these games, you want to experience them with a Voodoo 2 or a Riva card or something like that that's going to really work out. Monster Truck Madness 2. Monster Trucks without crushed metal are like a hot date with your sister. 6 out of 10. Mech Commander. A stomping good time in real time. So this is a giant mech RTS. It gets an 8 out of 10. Quake II Mission Pack, The Reckoning. Here we have a popular genre of releases at the time. The mission packs for Quake and Quake II and other first-person shooters. You'd be lucky you got my sister. There you go, T-Pat. Thank you for defending your sister. Respect that. They give this mission pack a 7 out of 10. They say it has a steep difficulty level. And it rips off the Ion Ripper from Unreal, apparently, as one of the weapons. But yeah, these mission packs for Quake and Quake 2 were huge selling items at the time. A lot of times they would hit the top 10 charts along with the games themselves, which is pretty impressive for what were official releases in that they were published by id and Activision, but ultimately made by just random third-party developers, typically. Yeah, take that, Flanders. This is a good point. Let's get a closer look at that, because that's odd. Howdy-ho, neighbor. Eat it, Flanders. So, yeah, somebody wanted to showcase the fact that they downloaded the world's worst Ned Flanders skin from some sketchy website. Oh, Stalk Winter, love Quake II Ground Zero. You may review of it on screen. Yeah, The Reckoning and Ground Zero, I think, came out pretty close to each other. In fact, I think The Reckoning may have an advertisement later in this issue. Sanitarium. Demons from the past can torment you or set you free. Oh, there's Goro. I'm glad to see Goro getting work. That looks like Goro and the character from the Rampage knockoff ARG. If you don't know ARG, you should definitely look up ARG online. But that is Goro and one of the characters from ARG's child there in the background of this scene. Sanitarium is a triumph. Irresistibly compelling, deeply metaphorical. I bet Richard is familiar with ARG. If you love a good knockoff of the hit arcade classic Rampage. I've heard, I've never played Sanitarium. I know that my pal, the Space Quest historian, if I'm not mistaken, is a fan of it. But yeah, it's one that I haven't played around with much. XCOM Interceptor. This was turning XCOM into a space shooter, if I'm like a spaceship game, right? Yeah, space combat sim. Again, at this time, XCOM was so hot. It's like, can we turn it into a flight sim? Yes. Can we turn it into a first-person shooter? Why not? Everything's good there. Ion Storm's classic Dominion Storm over Gift 3. Was that actually the release title for this thing? I know Dominion. I'd never seen the subtitle Storm over Gift 3. But wow, that is awful. So it's an RTS, right? Haven't we seen this somewhere before? They're less than impressed with Dominion. Here's an ad for Blood 2, The Chosen, and the seas became as blood. Take Bloodshed to the next level with new 3D engine and fully modeled 3D characters. 30 plus screaming fast, totally immersive, and completely blood-soaked levels. The second cut is the deepest. That's not how that saying goes. Okay. Redline Racer with an Evil Knievel inset. Redneck Rampage rides again. This, I suppose, could probably use a trigger warning, but one of the gags they like to do here when ranking games is if the game's really bad, they use this icon of someone hanging from a noose, suggesting that would presumably be preferable to to playing this game. This is Redneck Rampage rides again. Content warning, gamers. Yeah, basically. But yeah, this is, if you've never seen the Redneck Rampage games, they are exactly what they sound like. They are first-person shooters with hillbillies, with redneck characters at a time when rednecks were pretty hilarious. Let's see what they have to say. It feels like a cheap cash-in, not enough like a brand new title. If you really want some redneck action, save your money for tickets to Truckzilla, or at least wait until the next Merle Haggard concert comes to town. Graphics, as ugly as a Louisiana high school backup cheerleader. Sound, the in-game comments are repetitive and immediately annoying. You played Redneck Rampage, you've seen everything. Pluses, explosive chicken arrows. The game ends eventually. Doesn't end quick enough. Even big-breasted cheerleaders can't save Redneck Rampage 2. Everybody played the Capstone Beverly Hillbilly games. Like, we got to capitalize on the... Yeah, this is a spiritual successor to Capstone's Beverly Hillbillies adventure game. Not pictured big-breasted cheerleaders. Shows how much it had to be 3D was the marketing push there. Yeah, definitely. Jed Clampett, Effect on History. Helped integrate rednecks into modern culture with the Beverly Hillbillies. First of all, Jed Clampett was not a redneck. He was a hillbilly. Those are distinct concepts. Redneck tendencies. Use the phrase, oh golly, quite often. Redneck rating, 2 stars. Sold out as true roots for a hit TV show. Do they think Jed Clampett's an actual person? And not a character? Bill Clinton, Effect on History. Help making philandering rednecks acceptable in modern culture. Rednecks' tendencies. Fond of women with big hair. Bill gets 3 stars on his redneck rating. Real rednecks don't jog, but they do love donuts. Haha, take that. Rednecks. Oh, wow. All right. Well, there's Redneck Rampage. How are we doing? You might be asking yourself. We are heading into the home stretch of this. Here's that advertisement for Quake II Mission Pack Ground Zero. 24 new ways to tell your friends how much you love them. This graphic style was very much like the house style for Quake II advertisements of any sort. And I still kind of remember it fondly. I mean, on the one hand, it's incredibly 90s, but it's at least a more tasteful way of doing that 90s style than a lot of what you see elsewhere. So at least, I mean, yeah, we could show you screenshots, but who cares? I mean, yeah, you got new enemies, you got some new levels, new power-ups and things. Yeah, we're not going to give you a whole lot of details. Just trust us. It's more Quake, and you love Quake. Immersive gameplay. Golden Tee Golf. Get it? Because the ball's in the water. Immersive gameplay. It's immersed. This is why I'm grateful for any ad that isn't offensive. Yeah, absolutely. You have to thank your stars for the occasional blessing. Gritty, dark, late 90s. Yeah, that is as gritty and dark and late 90s as you can get, whilst not going over the top into being so garish that it hurts our modern eyes to look at. Like, I think that's a pretty decent looking, edgy ad. If you're going to do, yeah. I mean, it is an ugly brown blur. That much is true, but everything was an ugly brown blur at the time. And they have their own section of just sports reviews in here, because sports, that's very manly, very masculine. You've got to include that. They give Microsoft Baseball 3D a rating of 3. They don't particularly like it. Not a fan. And then they go head-to-head, where they kind of do like a weird round-robin tournament between Triple Play 99, Hardball 6, High Heat, Microsoft Baseball 3D, and see which one comes out on top, which is kind of wild to think that there were 4 major baseball sims on PC that all came out in the year 1998. See, sports instantly feels sleepy. I mean, TBH, me too a little bit. But that's wild to think that the sports market on PC, not console, but PC, that there would be 4 competing titles all out there kicking around for dominance. They really wanted the sports game lads to roll over to the other game genres. Yeah, you got to figure out how to convert those FIFA and Madden fans into people who buy other stuff. All right, let's see. World Cup 98. Hey, America, this is the world's greatest sport. I gotta like that line. Gets an 8. Fox Sports Soccer gets a 5. Competing sports games again. And then let's take a look at this. It's an Alienware ad. Alienware is still with us today, of course. One of the more prominent, I guess, pre-built gamer computer companies out there still. Let's take a look at what sorts of stats we have. Top of the line, $3,699. I don't know if anyone can run through and see what that works out to in today's dollars, but we're looking at $3,699 in 1998. In 1998. So we get a Pentium 2 out of that. We get 128 megs of RAM. We get a 3.5-inch floppy drive. Gotta have that. You get a Voodoo 2 video card. You get a Sound Blaster 16. That's going to bring a DVD player. Ooh, I wonder if that's double speed. 104 enhanced keyboard. It comes with a gamepad and a game stick, a flight stick. Okay, $6,380. A little cheaper than Alienware today. Got him. That's right. Wow. So this is just your average $6,380 computer. It's your dream PC. I mean, honestly, I could have some fun with a PC like that. Like if I had that model just hooked up, I mean, that is a pretty sweet spot to play retro games from. It comes with Windows 98. I mean, that's a very good OS. I mean, I would be down for the Area 51. The gray, the hive mind, the Area 51. I remember I used to like sit and just look at these ads and just like stare at these specs and just think, oh my goodness, like if only I had, you know, a Coolmax video cooling system built into my, if only I had a Microsoft 2-button mouse that I could use to play all my favorite games. But yeah, I mean, this would be wonderful to play. You know, if I had this now, yeah, just fire up Windows 98. Oh, it'd be untold joys. Free installation, driver install is pretty nice. I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, it wasn't easy chunky code monkey like it tends to be nowadays. That itself was a challenge for PC gaming. But let's see here. Let's move forward a little bit. Ooh, Beauty and the Beast. We have a head-to-head between Madden 99 and NFL Game Day 99. It's hard to tell if this is a preview or a review. I guess it's a preview. Where they seem to think Madden 99 with new polygon graphics is the better looking game, whereas Game Day, I guess, is maybe the best playing of the two. So it's sort of like Madden looks good, Game Day plays well. They are indistinguishable to me looking at these screenshots. Like, does one of these look markedly better to you than the other? If anything, I kind of like the smoother look of Game Day, like that Dallas Cowboys screenshot up in the upper right-hand corner on the Game Day page. Looks a lot nicer than anything on the Madden page. Like, for instance, I don't know if it's a great look to show somebody clipping through another player. When you have a 49er clipping through a Ram here in the screenshot, it doesn't tell me that these polygons are quite working the way they're supposed to. They both do look terrible. I mean, this is no question, but yeah. Welcome to polygons. Now things clip through other things. Enjoy the experience. Polygons plus Madden equals gridiron glory. Vigilance. The odds-on GoldenEye killer for PC, says Next Generation. I don't remember this game. It's playable on Heat.net, which was Sega's PC gaming platform. Counterterrorism, before it was cool. Covert operations, and extreme prejudice. This magazine's had some extreme prejudice. Look at how muddy the textures are in the second row. I mean, it's very true. Let's see here. Third from the right. Yeah, I mean, this game doesn't look great in a lot of ways. If you can zoom on a guy's face. The Wikipedia page for Vigilance has very detailed Character bios. Oh, now I'm excited. Now I want to see this. Do the characters sound engaging and fully rounded, Grayson? Or would you say they come across a little bit one-dimensional, despite this being a 3D game? See how hyper-realistic this guy's forehead is. Yeah, this is a good look. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of outstanding bits of work. All right, we probably shouldn't dwell too long on vigilance. They all seem very fleshed out. That's what I want here. I'm all about storytelling. Unreal, the ultimate guide, deathmatch do's and don'ts. See, these, I think these still apply today to most games. First of all, look at that great model of that woman holding the gun. That's pretty good, like the quick draw pose. Here you go. What you should do if you're playing deathmatch nowadays. Learn the maps. Keep moving. Your mouse sensitivity should be at least 10. I don't know on what scale, but whatever scale you're using, it should be at least 10. I don't know 10 watts, but make sure that you have your mouse sensitivity set to 10. Know your weapons. Learn your opponent's tendencies. Adapt your playing style to the map. If it's small and consists mostly of narrow corridors, always running with a heavy hitting weapon like the flat cannon is the way to go. Know when to back off. Be nimble. Be quick. Time your shots. Have a backup. Use ping times to your advantage. The lower the ping, the quicker the connection speed between your computer and the server. Haha. Ping times. Don't shoot your shadow. It isn't you. In modern esports, you want turn sensitivity as low as possible. Yeah, I mean, that would be the one that probably looks the worst these days. Most of these are decent tips, though. Yeah, I think that they still hold more or less true. Let's see here. Guide to Unreal Weaponry. You have some details there on the various weapons in Unreal. Some more strategy. I don't know if we need to turn this into an Unreal strategy session since I've never played Unreal. Here's the ad for a game called War of the Worlds. It is the original British invasion. This game about the famous H.G. Wells story, War of the Worlds, is interesting because you might be asking yourself, can we turn this into something sexual? And the answer is, it's 1998. Of course we can. Size doesn't matter. Strategy does. It's not how big your units are. It's what you do with them. Just ask Randy Johnson, the big unit. Yeah. This is good. Try not to think about Playboy centerfolds in the middle of the match. You can always think about it the other 12 hours of the day. That's right. If 90s copyrights were forbidden from riffing on size matters, they'd all be unemployed. It is Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. You may have heard of H.G. Wells. This isn't his War of the Worlds. This isn't Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. This is Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Curslache, I really love that Blanca emote. That's so good. Jeff Wayne. Do we know who Jeff Wayne is? Is that a person? Is it just a concept? Katana still, that's the meeting. Everybody's sitting around the big table. So what's the angle on this ad, boys? Okay, now hear me out. It's War of the Worlds. It's a classic property. It's one of the foundational texts of science fiction. It was famously adapted into a radio play that really, impacted the world at a level that was hard to conceive of at the time. I'm thinking, boners? Seems to be very much the pitch that was going on here. All right. Okay. Strategy. More strategy for Unreal. They have a lot of Unreal coverage here. How to deal with campers. Oh man, we hated campers back in the day, didn't we? A quiz to how to sound like an Unreal expert. When shooting a rocket at someone, you should aim for the torso, the feet, the family jewels. In open space, you should use the auto mag, use the ASMD, or run around like a headless chicken and fall off things. In a tight corridor, it's best to blow yourself up in a panic. All right. If you don't have a 3DFX or Power VR card, you're screwed. Really screwed. Or C, both A and B. All right. Because he would keep a tally of the pages that don't include a dick joke. I mean, this magazine is the official magazine here in the US of dick jokes during this period. So, probably not. No, I mean, it is... I think that'd be too many to count. I think you'd hit like an overload error at some point. How to become an Unreal God and have fun doing it. Get a good skin. Upgrade your game. Practice. Get a good name. Ooh. Here's some tips on how to get a good screen name. This is probably relevant for all of us since we all need good screen names. Oops. Method 1. Pick a body part or bodily function you wouldn't want to talk about in front of your mother. Pick an animal. Put it together. Let's see. Elbow gerbil? I guess my name using method 1 would be elbow gerbil. Put that down. That is a body part or bodily function you wouldn't talk about in front of your mother. And then animal. Method 2. Take a heavy metal song title, subtract one word, and replace it with a sex-addicted politician. Oh, wow. That one's tougher. They suggest pour some sugar on Senator Packwood, bark at Bill Clinton, sympathy for Ted Kennedy. That's not bad. Choose a dead celebrity. Let hilarity ensue. Phil Hartman, Sonny Bono. Oh, wow. Gandhi and River Phoenix. Have a friend choose a dead celebrity's assailant or cause of death. Oh, wow. You know, laughing about the tragic story of Phil Hartman and Scrub J is one of the more upsetting things I've come across this magazine so far. How's it going, Scrub J? Glad to see you here for PC Accelerator, issue 1, September 1998. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about here. This is, it's 100 yucks per minute at PC Accelerator. Okay, so something they did in every issue is what they called their fantasy frag. This is a celebrity that they'd like to frag, or I guess murder. And in this case, their first fantasy frag is Leonardo DiCaprio. Take that, Leo. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Scrub J, it's the most regressive, I think, of the big US magazines at this time. Why we hate him. 51 appearances in Teen Beat and a career that started on Growing Pains should be enough. He also deserves a good frag every time some hormone-induced 12-year-old girl screams in a theater when the smooth-faced girly man walks on screen. How he should be fragged. He should be bound and dropped into a matinee showing of Titanic to be torn apart by the horde of pre-adolescent girls he'll be watching. Or he should be forced to watch his movie debut in Critters 3 until he chokes on his own bowel. Just a regular guy. You're right, Grayson. This is just a regular guy editing a magazine and fantasizing about murdering a hot male celebrity at the time. Yeah, this... Okay, have a little teapot. Oh, we hate girls so much. Here's pictures of girls see fire games. Yeah. Yeah, that's technically not fragging. This is also a good point. That is something else. Tips for a losing man. I think there are a lot of losing men on this staff, so let's see. If you lose a Quake match, with the help of noted manly psychologists and animal therapists, we compiled a list of ways you can deal with losing without being a loser. Don't lose, you idiot. If it doesn't work, follow the next few steps. Spend the next few hours perfecting your excuse. A few examples. My X wasn't working properly. I guess mouse or keyboard. I meant to do that. I was doing something else. The other players were cheating. Blame the people who made the game. Take a deep breath and then release it in the form of an especially loud profanity. Release aggression by playing sports, like computer tossing. Put on soothing music so neighbors don't hear you cry like a baby. Drive to local computer superstore, return game, take hostages. Get back in the car, start engine, close the garage, and contemplate the afterlife as you slowly drift to sleep. Wow. I was an actual 14-year-old boy when this magazine came out. This is penance. Yes, we all deserve this. All of us who lived through this deserve this. When I was, I read this magazine in 1998. I would have been a sophomore or a junior in college. So that was when it hits me. Ooh, a quick look at the biggest games we didn't preview this month. Anachronauts. The RPG fans who don't want to sit through another ugly, aimless RPG. Anachronox is one of my favorite games of all time. Go play Anachronox if you haven't already. But there you go. Now, let's get to the good stuff here, which is to say, some of the worst stuff. What kind of gamer are you? This little feature here, I think, speaks volumes. At PCXL, we cater to a distinct type of gamer, the hardcore action fan. Distinguishing between the PCXL gamer and other gamers is simple, but just in case you were wondering which you were, we offer this pictorial guide. So here is the non-PCXL gamer. Galar Dragon, I was probably a girl gamer since around 1990, but didn't feel this type of approach represented what I was looking for in games. Yeah, I mean, it's they're definitely imagining a audience made up of, I'm guessing, teenage boys who they assume to be, heteronormative cisgender dudes who are in the throes of puberty and very excited about things like pixelated breasts and even better polygonal breasts. And it's really reflected kind of at every turn of this. I mean, here again, this is their version of a lame gamer. He's playing solitaire. He has Lynx, the golf sim, Sim Island, a copy of Roger's Thesaurus, a solitaire game. Wonders why a mouse needs 3 buttons. He's apparently never heard of alternate fire buttons. Clean desk equals clean mind equals boring. He has an opera poster. Watching a fat lady sing in a language you don't understand is more important than games. He has a picture of he and his wife on their wedding day. Wife left him for running up $200 phone bill calling the Mist helpline. Take that, Mist. Real dogs are too messy, so he has a little statue of a Chihuahua. I don't know how that makes him a lame gamer, but why would you want to build an island in Sim Island? Well, you can destroy one. No need for 3D acceleration here. He's playing solitaire. The thesaurus is full of words like milquetoast, wimp, weakling, sissy, milksop, panty waist, wussy, doormat, yellow belly. If this were written in 2022, you'd probably throw in like soy boy and cuck there, right? That would round out the whole thing. He still has his ring on. Yeah, he hasn't given up on love. I think that's an important thing to mention, TL Wolf. This guy, I guess that's again what makes him so lame, is that he hasn't given up on maybe reuniting with his wife. Plays by himself. Okay, now this is a PCXL gamer. This is the target audience. I'm guessing this is what all of us look like. This is more our speed. Sustenance is critical in long gaming sessions. What is it? Where's one? It looks like it's probably some Coronas, some bottles of Corona. The all-important backlog of classics. Look at all those great games he has there in his backlog. See the 25 greatest guy games featured. Don't go back and see that again. Bad games make the best posters. That looks like a poster of a pig with a thong on, if I'm not mistaken. Are y'all ready for some action? I'm guessing that's a Redneck Rampage poster. This is a good point. He is definitely not looking at his monitor. This guy failed to know he's nearly lit with bisexual lighting. Well, he's already screaming. Maybe that is why he's screaming. This is his fear of anyone thinking he's anything but incredibly straight. I'll have to toss my game boxes around on my monitor. Souped up gaming rig, more important than car. The ever-present Lara 6 hardware upgrades galore. What's that? 5. Oh, it's just a Tomb Raider box. Crazed look reserved for the most intense death matches. Spare stick for when primary stick fails. Haha, fellas, we know our sticks never fail. Remains of last guy who changed his Quake settings. And he's wearing the PlayStation. The PlayStation t-shirt. Your boxes stacked together. Well, what the hell is that poster? Which one? The one that looks like it's a wolf with a hand in it. Use your bullets. You may want to use the last one yourself. I don't know what game that is, but yeah, we have a Lara Croft poster up in the left. Then I think we have the Redneck Rampage sex with a pig themed ad as a poster nearby. And he is wearing a PlayStation t-shirt. He's got an ISA card just sitting there loose. Oh, that's a Resident Evil poster. That checks out. But yeah, that's what a real gamer is. This is something I find really interesting, something I've written about a fair bit in my research in the last few years. This idea of constructing real gamers versus something that's somehow a fake gamer, whether fake gamer is strictly along gender lines. You know, dudes are real gamers and women are somehow less than that or something different than that. Or that, you know, people who play hardcore games are real gamers, but people who play casual games or mobile games are somehow not true gamers. This sort of division between a dude who, you know, looks like just like a casual gaming guy and then a real gamer is something I think says a lot about this era as a theme you see hit on kind of everywhere at the time. But yeah, this what kind of gamer are you feature, I think in a lot of ways is, again, sort of very clearly a mission statement for PC Accelerator. We have some more breakdown here on Quake II versus Unreal. Again, this is the big theme of the issue. Real small joystick. Yeah, it's very gatekeepy. Everything about it is, you know, whether, you know, you want to say, again, you know, whether it's you don't like these super manly games with questionable content, not a real gamer. You know, we're going to gatekeep out those folks or gatekeep out anyone who doesn't fit into this very narrow definition of what it means to be a gamer. That's definitely the energy they're bringing here. Eidos ran a lot of these ads at the time. I've always found them kind of curious. Signs and symptoms of depression. Something you definitely want to joke about, right? If you're making an ad, you want to play around with the concept of depression. Persistent sadness or irritability. Recurring thoughts of how much better life would be with Death Trap Dungeon or Tomb Raider 2. Statements such as, I'm bad, I'm stupid, no one likes me. When depression strikes, immediately seek the help of a trained professional at your local computer game store. And this is someone wiping away secretions. Oh wow, that Redneck Rampage poster is on eBay. Oh no. Please, nobody purchase that for me, whatever you do. Research shows the leading cause of depression among gamers is a noticeable lack of Eidos games. Nah, I suspect that's not true. But yeah, they think that early intervention with Tomb Raider 2 and Death Trap Dungeon is the secret. With those great weird shaped boxes. I miss a good weird shaped box, don't you? And then here's the women we love to play. It's a little mini feature highlighting Ren, that lead character from Draken, the Tomb Raider knockoff with dragons. Let's see. Oh wait, let's. In the title's short span development, Ren has gone through some more body changes than Oprah Winfrey during the holiday season. At first, she was built strong and slightly mannish, a look that was quickly overcompensated for, leaving a character so gaunt that she wouldn't have the strength to steal a rice cake from Fiona Apple. After much refiguring, the developer was able to sell in a body that we think will make gamers sit up and take notice. So, first she was too muscular, and they didn't like that. And then she was too skinny, and she couldn't steal a rice cake from Fiona Apple is the reference they use here. And then this is what they sold on, which I guess means there was a version of this character that was skinnier than that. And who said that so she does kind of look like Polygon jerky. That's not incorrect. But yeah, this character apparently went through a lot of revisions to wind up at what they hope will be the hottest version. We have this really sketchy looking ad over here. I don't know who's going to buy something from top7.com, but nice body you have there. Too bad someone shamed it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, body. There have been tons of body shaming comments. You know, lots of fat jokes spread throughout this. Again, par for the course, I guess, with edgy comedy in 1998. But a lot of it's lazy and punching downward and just not really, at the end of the day, funny even. So yeah, it's not great. Best version is literally super skinny but with boobs. Yeah, that's what they land on eventually. Who knew? All right, we're down to a few pages here. last couple of pages. They have their what's hot and what's not. What's hot? Rick Springfield. Because I guess Interstate 76, the sequel, is going to be set in the 1980s, and maybe Rick Springfield's music will make a comeback in it. Dinosaurs are hot because of Trespasser. All right, let's see what's cold. What's cold in 1998? Diablo 2 be pushed back, so they're mad about that. The Quake II engine, the game they've been saying is the greatest game of all time this time. Now they don't like it so much. Everybody's abandoning it. Mike Tyson. He's an ear-crunching miscreant who's serving a 1-year suspension from boxing and a professional wrestling rehab center. What does that even mean? Okay, virtual wildlife. Yeah, they're saying at this point that hunting sims aren't great. Here we have the PCXL Spice Girls. Shannon Tweed will be straight to Video Spice. Farrah Fawcett is like the 3rd or 4th time she's shown up. She's Stoner Spice. Noted stoner Farrah Fawcett. Mary Hart, spasm-inducing Spice. Joan Collins, Old Spice. Nobody ever made that joke before. And Anna Nicole Smith will be known as Spice Rack. More breast tissues than the other Spice Girls combined. Because what else would you talk about than that? And then we're here at the end. Let's take a look at this customer survey that they offer us. I'm mad as heck. We realize just about everybody will be offended by the contents of our magazine. So we decided to make things easier for you, include this handy cutout form. Just check the boxes that apply and send it in. Oops. Dear PCXL staff, I was reading your magazine when, to my shock, dismay, puerile entertainment, you did the following. Made fun of evil Knievel stupidity, depicted Southern people as inbred hillbillies, trashed the Queen of Nice, Rosie O'Donnell, glorified cannibalism, used the phrase York smuggling, used the phrase bilinear mit mapping, used the phrase erotic grunts, asked the developer the question, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Used cuss words like hell, damn, big ass, and hard ass. Added Custer's Revenge to your guy games list. So if you're upset about that, just check that box. Used the phrase God loves Satan. Made constant digs at girly men. Called a revered Democrat a sex addict. Called a revered Republican a sex addict. Used the word fart rhino. Yeah, there you go. You guys are dangerous idiots, juvenile idiots. I'm going to say that word is ding-dang idiots. And a breath of fresh air, but still idiots. I wish you'd quit writing this magazine and focus on family titles. Take your magazine, stick it, die a slow, horrible death, or get to work on issue 2. So yeah, this is your opportunity to jump in there and offer PCXL feedback. I'm sure they'd appreciate seeing it now many decades down the road. And then here we have an ad for Return Fire 2. Thumbless and hungry, this veteran is, making fun of the kind of challenges veterans face. Again, great starting point for an ad here, clearly. Take that, homeless vet. Yeah, there you go. Veterans on the streets. Let's have a little bit of little fun with that concept. Seems to be the focus. Lasted 2 years, so the edginess doesn't pay. And then there's an ad for Voodoo Banshee that makes it look like it's so quick it can barely stay on the page. I like that ad. And of course, this magazine is from the fantastic retromags.com. Everyone be sure to hop over to retromags.com. They have a fantastic archive of these old magazines from various countries around the world. Easy to download, really fantastic. This stream wouldn't have been possible without Retro Mags, so be sure to give them a look and support them in their ongoing mission to create archives of all these games, or rather game magazines that we all love. Yeah, bless Retro Mags. They are truly outstanding. And I think with that, I'm going to bring the first Retro Magazine Rewind to an end. That was fun. How long did that go? How long did I talk about one magazine? 2 hours and 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. That is wild. I'll do one of these again at some point. Next time, I think I'll dip back way further and grab a magazine from the 80s, because there's some fascinating stuff going on in games journalism circa like 1983 and 1984, when it's really in its infancy. seeing how they navigated covering this industry that was still making its breakthrough into mainstream American culture. But I wanted to thank everybody for hanging out with me on what, again, was kind of a weird stream, right? This isn't normally my jam. Normally I'm playing games. I don't usually get a chance just to talk for 2 hours straight about a magazine. This certainly was a magazine. There's no question about that. Yes, if your magazine doesn't include some basic programs written out line by line in the back, it's not a real magazine. That's what a real gaming magazine is all about. It's not about talking about manly men and objectifying women and sort of reveling in violence and blood and gore. Wouldn't wipe a fart rhino with it. Yeah, a real gaming magazine lets you program your own game using code from the back of the magazine. That's exactly right. Anyway, I'm going to be back tonight, sometime around 9 or 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be playing more Monkey Island 2. Really looking forward to that one for Retro Adventure Wednesday.
Glass bottom boat.
Yeah, we'll be talking glass bottom boats. We'll be talking cruises. We'll be talking sunken galleons. Check it out. You don't want to miss it tonight back here at the channel. And before we call it quits, let's see here if we can get a good raid going. There's probably somebody online that we can raid. Let's see. Game Mistress is playing Discworld, a fun point-and-click adventure. One that I'm not super familiar with, honestly. I'm familiar with the novels, not familiar with the game. Let's maybe raid over and say hey to Game Mistress. But for now, thanks again for dropping by. Thanks for making the first Retro Magazine Rewind a success. This is a pleasure sharing this with you, and I will be back very soon, later tonight, and we will play a little bit of Monkey Island 2. Thanks for hanging out, and take care.